mother told me once when I was little that when the day comes that I am in danger, a mysterious force will come to my aid. She said her seahorse only came to her when father turned violent. She told me the story years later when I was going to middle school, terrified at the prospect of going to a public school rather than learning at home. My father turned into an alcoholic when I was a baby, filled with rage and grief over the loss of his mother and the loss of his job because of his initial grief. He was angry for my mother telling me stories of her seahorse, telling stories of magic and things unreal. I was barely 2 when our family went out to a local beach on a weekday. The sand's empty and the waves lonesome. I think I remember my father yelling that he doesn't want to go to the beach, but mother said he couldn't resist the pleading eyes of a 2-year-old. Mother told me that when we had gone to the beach almost every single morning, when the beach was empty my father was on a job search. That day was the day he had decided he doesn't care anymore, and was trying to force my mother to use her own body to bring the family some income. But while my mother was willowing, she was also strong and resistant, like the waves that pound into the beach every day. Father didn't like the ocean and the wet water, and mother would whisper to me that father was made of fire and the water makes him feel weak. But this time father heard, and he got angry for hearing that. He threw my toddler self into the ocean even though he knew I couldn't swim, and screamed at mother, asking her where her magical forces were now. I don't ever remember drowning or trying to swim, but I remember sitting on the water near the shoreline, on top of a beautiful seahorse, whose tail was wrapped around my father. I remember my mother picking me up and cradling me as the seahorse dragged my struggling father back into the depths of the ocean. The seahorse helped us at home sometimes, when I was taking a bath, helped teach me to swim when I got older at the beach, and helped my mother with money by dragging up old treasures from the deep sea. My mother would tell me every day that one day something will come to my aid, as it has done for all my mother's mothers, but she hopes I will never have to learn to use it. But she was wrong. I knew she was wrong when I stood over the broken lab glass and the lab benches covered in blood, and I knew she was wrong when I felt the presence of the jealous classmate who could not take the fact that someone had finally gotten higher scores than him, higher awards than him, and more attention than him. And I knew she was wrong when I first touched the silvery liquid that is mercury pouring down my throat into my body. Because when I realized that this boy was going to try to take my life in order to make himself look better, stage it like a suicide, I simply felt that tug like my mother described whenever she called upon her seahorse. From my mouth came out a silvery snake, silky silver and flowing like water. I could see his horror as metals melted and joined my large serpent, and could see his regret as he backed into a wall. I didn't need to hear his screams to know my snake defended me and killed the one who tried to kill me, melting down his bones to join its own body. My mother once told me, when I was little, that when the day comes that I am in danger, a mysterious force will come to my aid. She also told me on her own deathbed that we must be careful to not let our animals be seen, because as much as they are our own angels, there are other demons. But I'm sure that no one will know about the snake that lives within me until it's too late.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. You can also leave a comment below. All feedback, good or otherwise, is always appreciated. If you have any creepy stories of your own, or have any topics that you would like me to cover, feel free to send them in via any of my social media. You can find all links to my social media in the description below. Until next time guys, make sure you lock your doors, stay safe, and I'll see you next video.